All right, what's up, Kyle Williams, my co-host. Today we have our special guest today, right?
I'm excited to get to know him.
Yep,
Oh, the other Kyle.
yep.
That's right.
So pretty much we have Kyle Vargas on my side, a guy I actually work with during the day, but also I work with him with his professional team, the Roanoke FC. Let's bring him on and give him a warm welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Feel
Yeah,
special.
yep.
First guess, eh?
Yeah, first
There we
guest,
go.
first guest,
Let's do
first
it.
guest. Let's do it. Yeah. So pretty much, since with people not knowing what Roanoke FC is exactly, I wanted to dive into what you want to introduce Roanoke FC as,
Yeah, absolutely.
and what your role is on the team too.
Yeah, so Roanoke FC it's essentially a brand new semi-professional soccer club around here. For those who aren't familiar with it, it's we play in the UPSL, which is if you look at it from like the pyramid of US soccer, obviously the MLS is professional. Everybody knows that. Then beneath that is the USL Championship, and then there's also USL 2. And then right under that is us, the UPSL. We're fourth. We're in the fourth, I guess, bracket. And yeah, so that's basically where we're at. And then we play at Northside High School. For those of you who are like, I guess, local and know where that's at. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's brand new, so we're kind of working on a lot of the kinks and stuff in terms of like what we want to be, but I think there's a lot that we can be in the future. But for now, we're pretty much just just one soccer team that competes semi-professionally, which hasn't happened here in Roanoke for a while. It's been quite a few years. So it's cool to be able to bring that back for the people of Roanoke.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool since I get to help you on home games and shoot photos for you, which I previously mentioned in my episode one, which I do on the side, just shoot videos and all that
Oh yeah.
grinding. So grinding it out with you has been a blast. I think it's been fun.
Yeah, and Andy does a great job. Yeah, you got a lot of good content
Yeah,
for us, so
appreciate it.
Yeah, you need to take me out to one of the games. Where's the
that's all
invite?
right.
Yeah, I'll invite you out to the next home game. Yeah,
Okay.
I got you. I got
Let's
you.
do it.
I'm
Yeah,
out for it.
and then my first question is how was growing up? Like, what was your first get into passion of soccer, and how was that like? And did you grow up playing it all your life?
Yeah, so I've been playing soccer since I was 4 years old. I've always been like big into sports. It's always been kind of my thing growing up. Like, as a kid, I didn't want to do anything different. Like, I wanted to be outside. I wanted to be playing sports. So, um, yeah, I mean, that's just always kind of been it for me. Like, I don't think there's ever really been a question for me of like, as you grow up, you kind of try to figure out what you want to do in life and like, do I want to do this career path? Like this sounds cool, but maybe this sounds cool. But I think it's always been since the beginning of like, if I wasn't going to be a player, I wanted to do something that involved athletics. It's just what I love. And I've always been big on, not necessarily doing, something that's going to make you all the money in the world, but do what you want, do what you're passionate about. That's how you, I think, enjoy your job. So,
Sounds kind of similar to what we were talking about in the last episode, how we just want to be a part of sports no matter like what it
oh
is.
yeah.
But I was wondering if there was any other like sports growing up that you played as well that you kind of shared the same amount of passion as soccer.
Actually, it's funny because so soccer wasn't my favorite sport as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, it was actually basketball. I
See?
was a big basketball kid, but I just happened to be better at soccer than basketball. But dude, I loved basketball. I mean, and so I'm San Antonio Spurs fan. I was born in San Antonio, so like I'm a big Spurs fan, and like when I was growing up, they were huge. Like
Yeah,
Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili. I mean, that's the golden era right there. So
yeah.
I was huge into basketball. It just never kind of worked out for me. Soccer was kind of more of what my niche
A
was.
little off track. Aren't you sad that Greg Popovich is retiring
Ah man, it's
out of
it's
it?
it's so hard like to see that, obviously like, he's a legend. And you can only go for so long.
Yeah,
But man, yeah, it is sad to see, especially because like I feel like we're starting to kind of trend upwards now, you
yeah.
know. Um
Yeah, you might get Giannis this
Yeah, we have some potential here,
Yeah,
going forward. It's unfortunate. I really wanted to see him get another one, but
yeah, that's
just
true.
that's how it
It's
goes.
just it's kind of like bittersweet that it's ending.
Yeah.
It is. It is bittersweet, but hopefully, I'm not exactly sure who they put in place of him, but hopefully,
There's some assistant coach that worked under him
yeah, I think
previously.
so.
Yeah,
And I'm sure they made a good decision
yeah.
there.
Well, I wanted to follow up the the last question about childhood and growing up. Did
Yeah.
anyone inspire you, or did you look up to any pro athletes or professional people that worked in sports or family members that inspired you to push yourself in sports?
Yeah, so I didn't really have, I guess, a lot of people to look up to in terms of like, family, friends and stuff like that. Because I was pretty much like the first real athlete in my family, honestly. My dad played football in high school a little bit. But I wouldn't say he was like a huge sports guy. I know he loves football. He's actually a Cowboys fan. It's funny. Yeah, I know, dude. It's funny because I'm an Eagle. Oh, really? I'm an Eagles fan. So it's like it's a huge,
Next year goes better.
yeah, it's a huge feud there, but between me and my dad. But yeah, I mean, I guess I really just looked up to like, the athletes that I watched, which for me again, basketball was a big sport for me. I loved the big three of San Antonio, that I already mentioned, and then football. I'm a big Eagles fan. I actually didn't watch a lot of soccer growing up, which is crazy. And this is where like I circle back to where like I really wasn't that big of a soccer
Yeah.
guy, kid growing up. Like I loved other sports. But yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, it was always kind of my own
Yeah.
thing.
Then how was going to college? And did you know you wanted to? And since I know you went to college, did you always know you wanted to work in sports or major in anything in sports to help you get to your passion? And what was your work experiences like to get to where you wanted to be at?
Yeah. So when I originally started college, the first school I went to was Central Penn College, which is in Pennsylvania. And then I later transferred to Millersville, which I had told you about originally. And it's another interesting thing about me is I started as a criminology major. I didn't start as a sports business major, which is what I ended up getting my degree in, my bachelor's in. So I went from criminology to business to sports business, and that's when I had transferred to Millersville because Central Penn was a smaller school, so they didn't have a lot of, I guess, a lot of majors. Um, but yeah, and again, it's one of those things where I got to a point where like kind of my senior year in high school and then my freshman sophomore year in college where I I was a little lost, I guess. I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. I just knew that like I wanted to be in college and I wanted to get an education. Because nobody in my family had ever gotten a college degree before, so it was kind of a big thing for me. And then right around like my junior and senior years when I kind of figured out like yeah, like you know I love sports, like this is what I want to do. Um, if not a player, like yeah, actually, by my senior year, I wanted to be a coach. That was my biggest thing. I wanted to get into coaching. And like as I've gotten older, I've kind of realized like maybe coaching is not my thing. Um, and yeah, the business side is kind of where I'm at with it now,
Yeah,
obviously.
I was gonna say I kind of relate to it, the situation, because I went to Virginia Western, the local community college in Roanoke,
Yeah.
and I majored in engineering, and I did actually honestly almost failed out of school doing that. Yeah. So when I did that for the first year, I ended up honestly with the 1.6 GPA my first year at coming out, almost failed, then transitioned to like gen eds, and I was like, maybe I'll just transition that into doing sports. And I'll just transfer it to
Yeah.
Radford, where I went to Radford, and I was like, sports management. They have this option. I never heard of this, and then we just pursue this option of business and sports and see where that takes me.
So you had no idea about like sports management?
Now I didn't know about it
No.
until after my first year of doing
Yeah.
like failing and then doing research on schools I wanted to go to,
Mm.
and just
Mm.
trying to actually somehow graduate because I was really struggling at the time and not
Yeah.
having like passion for anything at school
Yeah.
at the time.
I
It,
think that's a part of like freshman and sophomore year. That's where you like really find yourself.
oh
'Cause
yeah.
I remember when I talked with the kids and when I was doing my PAC job, they would all just say like, "Oh, I'm in general studies because I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'm ever gonna find
Yep, you
And
get
then
that
I
a
would just
lot.
guide them to it and just have like honestly, it's like a weekly talk. Like you're gonna figure it out. Just like
Yeah,
you just gotta. It's a be patient. It's
yeah.
gonna like work out. But what drew you to criminology? I didn't expect you to.
Yeah, I know it's left field, right?
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. I honestly like I think I've always kind of been interested in like law and things like that. And my
Minds, like
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's all
think
interesting
the same
stuff.
way.
Yeah, it's all interesting stuff. And my dad was actually yeah, he's actually a detective now. And he was in the police force before that. So it kind of runs in the family just a little bit. Like I got uncles who are also in the police force. So it was always kind of a little bit a part of my life. And you know, again, like just that little period between high that senior year in high school and then your freshman sophomore year in college just like don't really know exactly what you want to do. It just you kind of go based off of what's just seems interesting, and I mean that's at least what I did. And then later on I kind of figured yeah, this is not really for me. So
Yeah, that's fair. That's really fair. Because no one knows what they want to do really at that age, like 18,
yeah.
19
It's
sometimes.
kind of crazy that you pick at like you're 17, 18, and then you pick what you're gonna be doing the next 4 years,
I know,
and
yeah.
then you just like, oh, I just want to go to college. I don't
Yeah.
know what I'm gonna do.
No, it is
Just need to
crazy.
get in, kind of.
Yeah. And like I mean there's people that like, 18, 17, 18 years old, they know. They're like, yeah, this is what I
I've
want to
noticed
do.
that about teachers. Like every
Yeah.
teacher that's like says it like when they're 16, they stick with it.
They knew and then
It's their
it
passion.
just happened. And like I mean, it's good. I mean, everyone has their own path. I definitely wish I would have known a little bit earlier cuz I mean, I still graduated in 4 years, but I had to do a lot of extra like summer and winter classes to
Oh,
kind
the
of
summer
catch.
classes are the worst.
Oh, dude,
They're really
man.
hard.
My senior year, actually, I went straight from like the fall, winter, spring, summer, like just all the way through.
No break at all.
Yeah, I had no break like my last year and a
So did
half.
you
It was
have
crazy.
time to like follow up on like classes outside of classes? Did you have time to like volunteer in athletics or work for like teams around you or get experience doing any of that? Like,
See, I didn't do a lot of that because again, my first couple years I wasn't even in like I wasn't even thinking about anything like that. My major was completely different. As I transferred to Millersville, well, then COVID happened, so it was very hard to kind of get involved in a lot of things, because I didn't know a lot of people because I wasn't on campus. Everything was off campus. It was all Zoom meetings and stuff like that, and it was kind of a difficult transition. Just like again, like not being able to like get on campus and actually like talk to people in person. I feel like it's so much better to just I don't know about you guys, but like Zoom classes for me, if you guys have ever did the Zoom classes, horrible. Like
Uh, I
th-
learned like in person.
yes,
yeah, in
yes.
person was just more engaging with the
It's so
professors and
much
stuff.
better. Like it just is. And just like I feel like your brain like it understands more of like, hey, I'm in class right now. Like I gotta focus. Like when
Yeah,
I'm on Zoom, I'm like, yeah, man, like come on. Like I'm at home, like,
yeah,
That's a
I'm
good habit.
I'm cut my camera on, go grab a snack or something,
yeah. That's fair.
like but yeah. So I didn't really get involved in a lot of I did intern through Millersville, which was in my university and I had some pretty good connections and I worked through it was the athletics revenue and fundraising generation department and it was really cool like they just kind of learning like how it works in terms of how they I guess how they build relationships with donors or like sponsors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. I wish I would have been able to do it a little bit longer, but it was like my final semester of my senior
Yeah,
year, so
that's fair. And then how did you land from Texas to Pennsylvania all the way to Virginia now? We're
yeah.
in Roanoke, Virginia now, ultimately.
No, it's crazy. Like, so I grew up as a military kid. That's kind of the best way I always explain my childhood is because, I mean, I was born in Texas, but I didn't grow up in Texas. I grew up
Yeah.
like all over the place. I lived in Maryland, New Jersey, Illinois, and I even lived overseas in Germany.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so, all over the place. I went to school in Pennsylvania. The main reason for that was I wanted to be kind of close to family, which I had a lot of family in Virginia. I have a lot of family around here. But I also kind of wanted to have my own independent space and kind of just be on my own. Um, And then when I graduated, I actually moved to Rocky Mount, which is where my mother, who was originally she was in the military, but she's originally from Rocky Mount.
Mm,
So I moved there, and then I got a place out here in Roanoke just to be close to family, and that's kind of what got me over here. So
yeah.
pretty crazy, man. Just bouncing around.
Yeah, but it's a lot different from both me and Kyle because we pretty much grew up here most of our lives. Like our childhood was raised in either,
Not most, all
well,
Now,
for me
so
at least.
I want to ask you
like,
guys because I've heard a lot of the same from people that grew up around here. Do you guys like it here?
I like that I can experience 4 different seasons.
well,
Okay, yeah.
I'll be honest, there's not much to do besides like
honestly, I'll tell you my perspective on it is like I get bored of here because like
Yeah,
you go do anything fun, you're traveling like 3 hours to Charlotte, 3 hours to Raleigh or Durham, or 3 hours to
yeah,
3.5 hours to DC, or 4 hours to Baltimore, just something like, or 3 hours to Richmond,
yeah,
Virginia, which has more stuff to do, but we pretty much stay here because it's easy living,
yeah.
affordable,
That's true.
got like some opportunities, and
and it's relatively safe for
yeah,
like a child.
it's starting to
Relatively.
grow, starting to grow, but slow.
Very close to
Yeah,
Yeah, just stay away from downtown.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean that makes a lot of sense. Most people I hear it's terrible. Like they're like I
It is
don't like it
boring
here.
actually.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like we used to go like play hide and seek in Walmart growing up. Like
Oh yeah.
that's the type
You had
of
to find fun things to
yeah,
do.
we had to make 'em
Make
fun.
yeah.
Yeah, like most people say, if you really want to live in Roanoke or somewhere around here, you gotta enjoy outdoors. Go hiking, go
It is
Yeah.
camping,
perfect for hiking.
or kayaking or something, or biking or
Got to
something
be
like that.
outdoorsy, I
Yeah,
guess.
which not
Um,
cater to everybody at the end of the day.
yeah, yeah. It's true.
But ultimately, I want to lead on to where you're currently working
Yeah.
at Roanoke FC, where we mentioned previously, and we want to explain what your exact title is and what your connections led you to starting the team in.
Yeah. So, I guess I'll start with um I am the co-founder and president of Roanoke FC. Um we basically and so again we compete in the UPSL. We we pretty much started this whole thing within like a couple months. Like the talks of it between me and Kyle Hoops, who's the other co-founder, started probably like November, December of 2024. And it was very brief. Like there was just it really started as like, hey, like Kyle came up to me. And Kyle's played in the UPSL before. He's played for Lynchburg FC, which is was Lynchburg's what, like an hour and a half away.
Hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah. So, and they have a team in the UPSL. And had played for them, so he kind of knew a little bit about it. I had no idea about it. I wasn't involved at all in like that whole, I guess, realm of like of US soccer. Um and so he came up to me because I have a lot of connections with the like I guess the local soccer community. I've been playing in the adult leagues for a while, and I'm on the board actually for one of the adult leagues. So I know a fair amount of people, and yeah, he just pretty much came up to me and was like, "Hey, like I think if we put 25 to 30 of the best like soccer players around here, we could make a semi-pro team and just like, go play and have fun." So it really essentially started as like we were just gonna, you know, I knew people, I was gonna reach out to them, say, "Hey, you guys want to make a team and we'll go travel and play." And you know that's kind of the basis of how the whole conversation started, and I didn't really think that it was gonna like be like anything big, just because like it's hard to get people to commit to something, especially like if they don't necessarily know like exactly what it entails, and also like if I'm playing a game and I have to travel 3 hours for it, if I'm not like a professional athlete, am I really gonna go do that? So we had to kind of find a way to make it, I guess, more respectable. And the biggest way to do that was to make it more professional, which was, hosting a tryout to where like instead of just like grabbing a bunch of guys and throwing them together, we were gonna make it legitimate. We got coaches on board, um, and we made social media accounts and we just kind of started promoting the tryouts, and it was crazy like the how quick like people were like, I guess, in on it. I opened up like a registration for the tryouts, and we ended up getting, I think, like for the 2 days that we had, it was like 84 people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy. I wasn't expecting that number at all. I thought, I mean, it just kind of blew up, and so we did that, and then as the season's gone on, we've had several people that have come do like a trial at our practices to try out for the team as well. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's been steadily growing. Um, and we've kind of just tried to turn it into like a community thing. That's the biggest um you know, that's been the biggest success for us, I guess, is instead of instead of our original plan of just throwing a bunch of guys together, carpooling to games and stuff, we've gotten several people involved, several businesses have sponsored for us, and several people come and watch our games. So, it's kind of turned into something bigger than like me and Kyle probably ever thought it was going to be, which is pretty cool. So for our first year, not bad, not
Yeah,
bad.
I think it's pretty impressive. Like for like the amount of time you put in and the amount of like success we had so far. Like we had some good turnouts,
Oh yeah,
some good like responses from people. It seems like
yeah.
people really do enjoy what we provide for them. Like
Yeah,
even though it's like twice a weekend, twice a month. I mean,
yeah.
people enjoy coming out.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing about something like this is like even if it is like, okay, yeah, it's something new and it's something small, like it it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but I feel like you have to make it a big deal. If you want people to really enjoy their experience and want to come back to watch a game and really love it, like you gotta be on it for everything. And that's why on game days, like, I mean, I make sure, like, obviously I've brought you in as a videographer and you've done a great job. We have a photographer. We do, we have announcer in the booth. Um Athletic trainers, a must for games. And just, I mean, we try to put on halftime performances. We try to get the youth involved, and yeah, I mean, I think it's cool, at the end of the day, even if it's, something that is still really small, or, still growing, or still we're still working out the kinks of everything, and it's all trial and error, but it's still cool to like see all the people that do come out, and they seem like they've enjoyed it, and we have food trucks and stuff as well, so
Yeah,
you know.
I I think it's fun going to seeing everyone show up for the community.
Yeah.
And then my other question is, has the season met your expectations or below it or above it, in your opinion?
So the season in terms, so I guess I'll say this in terms of like the business side of things, I would say that like it's exceeded expectations. You know, again, like when I first sat down with Kyle to talk about like to I guess figure out how we were going to do this, we went through the financials of, are we going to be able to afford, you got to pay the league fee and field rental and referees and stuff like that. And we kind of set ourselves a budget of like this is the goal we have to meet. And we've blown right past it. I mean, financially we've made way more than I expected, and yeah, I mean, just the community outreach has been great. I think people fail to realize how big soccer is around here. It's a pretty big deal, and I think even like our games doesn't show exactly how big it is. Like there's way more people that love soccer around here. There's several adult leagues that, I mean, they get hundreds of people as well at those games sometimes. And that's kind of our biggest goal going forward is trying to, I guess, combine all those communities together. Um and just to make it, I mean, make it big, not even our games, but just like soccer in general in
Yeah,
Roanoke.
I was gonna say you talked about the business side of the performance. How about the
Yeah,
team performance, like
yeah.
playing wise? What would you say
So
about that?
playing wise, and Me, I'm a very competitive guy. I don't like to lose.
I feel like all sports management majors are
Yeah.
semi-competitive and too
It
much.
should be just competitive.
I see.
So
I think the
you're not
same
good
thing, but some people are okay with like,
participate.
oh yeah, and like I've heard, and it's great to hear this. Like, oh, for y'all's first season, like y'all haven't done bad, and so I guess I'll let people know. Like our record right now is we have 2 wins, 2 ties, and 3 losses, and we're sitting fifth in the table out of eighth. The top four make playoffs. So to kind of put it in perspective, we're fighting for a playoff spot right now. We got 3 games left in the season. So we're right in there. We're right in the mix of things. So yes, I guess from an outsider perspective, like yeah, like for this being our first season, um, not bad at all. Like we've put up some good matches. We tied the conference champions of last season. So I mean it's a big deal. But again, me being competitive, I will say like I would love to win every game. So even now, like I'm not satisfied. Like I love that we've shown that we're a competitive team. But I can never be satisfied, like I feel like, you know, there's some games that we probably left out that we should have won or gotten some points out of. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think we have a great team. I think, you know, people don't really realize how much talent comes out of Roanoke. We've had a couple players in the last few years like get drafted in the MLS, and like play in high level of soccer like Division 1, um, you know, USL, USL 2, things like that. And so I think this is just another great opportunity. The biggest thing about this is like bringing all of those guys together to actually play, make a team and see like how competitive and how good can Roanoke really be. And when you look at it from that standpoint, I think we've done a pretty good job considering, I mean, we're playing North Carolina teams for the most part. Like it's been all North Carolina teams and, North Carolina has a pretty good soccer reputation. So, the fact that we have gone in and competed with some of these teams, it's pretty cool. I think it shows that we do have a lot of potential going forward. So,
Yeah,
small town Roanoke,
yeah.
small city Roanoke.
Honestly, like growing up, like I didn't really wasn't into soccer. I don't know about you, Kyle.
I'll be honest.
No.
I played some indoor, I played some outdoor, but
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So since
played
we're not
Here and
big
there.
into it, but when I went to community college, I saw the vast community of people that play soccer, like
Yeah.
the Hispanics, the Haitians, or
Yes.
whatever. So
Yes.
I'm looking at it and then learn about the community of soccer, like, and I go do my research and it's like, whoa, this is really big actually. But then
Yeah.
even now, like I come out of college, I leave Radford and come back to Roanoke, and my opportunities are like back in soccer. Like, whoa, Roanoke community is really big. People really want to push it and
Oh
really
yeah.
build the community up for it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And like so you ever get a chance to go to Star City Soccer Center, especially like in the wintertime, man, it's packed in there. They have like a food truck, they have like a food vendor set up, and it's just I mean they got music playing, they got announcers, like it goes crazy, man. Then and like that league those leagues do a really good job of like they have these big trophies they hand out at the end of the year and
Right.
medals and a lot of money. Like if you like they play for money. Like it's legit. Like they go crazy over there.
Yeah, like I always heard about like the Sunday leagues where Rivers Edge Park locally is like
Yeah.
packed, or
Oh
the
yeah.
Hispanic League that's packed too, or
Oh
something.
yeah.
I always
Yeah.
see it like stuff like that. Like we had a graduation party at Rivers Edge Park. We both attended for one of our close friends,
Sweet.
and we could see like soccer played right outside while we were
Yeah.
having pizza in the and watching basketball. But they're
That's
playing
awesome.
adult league soccer.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's definitely a big deal. I feel like it's probably one of, if not the biggest, like I guess community, like sport community. Because I know pickleball is pretty big around here too, but like
yeah, every like tennis court is being turned into a pickleball
yeah, it's crazy. And like the new Y that they build in the mall, it's got like 8
court.
pickleball courts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
all they got. They don't got basketball or soccer
no,
or nothing but
no,
pickleball at the Y.
yeah, yeah. One thing I've realized because I looked into it, there's not a lot of um basketball leagues around here.
Yeah, they play a ton of like pickup games. I know.
Yeah, there's pickup everywhere, but you don't see leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, so That's crazy to
Yeah,
me.
I wonder why.
The
To be
next
honest.
venture for you?
Hey, I might have to dwell into the bat. Like I said, man, growing up, basketball was my
Yeah,
favorite sport, so
yeah.
might have to build something there. Nah, potential could be there.
Well, my next question for you is there any fear that like your team, like the future of it, just because sometimes like you see the history of Roanoke soccer or sports in Roanoke, how they
Yeah,
don't last more than like a
yeah,
few years, like especially like you've seen in the past, like we had ECHL hockey team that didn't last,
yeah,
or D League basketball, which is the development league back in the day, which is now the G League, or former soccer teams that haven't lasted.
yeah,
And seeing how would you face those challenges and how would you think you'll work around those?
yeah. I will say that I do. You know, I don't want to say that I fear it, but it is always on the back of my mind, and I kind of take it as a good thing because I feel like for me personally, like it helps me to never be satisfied, to never be like I'm good, I'm comfortable. You know, uh, I think it's good to be uncomfortable because it makes me push myself and try to push this club to like continue to grow and continue to get better. Um, I don't think you can ever really be comfortable because of a reason like that. If you get comfortable and you think everything's like, you know, all good, you never know, it could come crumbling down. Especially as new as we are now. Um, I will say looking at the history of things, there's been a couple semi-pro teams and they've kind of they've you know they've crumbled. Um, they didn't last very long, but for what we're doing, um, I think I think the right thing that we're doing is community involvement. Um, I think this is something that maybe hasn't happened in the past. I think in order to really build a successful, you know, soccer club or sports team or anything around here, you have to get people involved. You have to get people to that, and it shouldn't just be about the team. It should be about everything else. The event. I think the event is so important. That's why on our home games, we try our best to just put so much out there, again with the food trucks and the halftime performances and things like that, and hopefully that gets bigger and bigger as we go on as well. But yeah, I think, you know, keeping up with our social medias and just trying to keep people involved as much as possible. I think people really like going on their Instagram or Facebook and seeing like a new post that we have of whether it's, pictures of the players or the games or, right now we have our mascot reveal coming soon. So, I think a lot of people got really involved with that. We did a mascot voting. And several we had like almost 300 people
My
vote.
bias is only one good pick, but I don't know. Hopefully they pick what I want, or I might just not support the team. I'm joking. I'm joking. Like,
Yeah, there's so many people have like reached out to me personally and like asking me what it is, and I'm not spilling the tea, but like they're like, oh, it should be this, it should be this, and um, yeah, so I, it was a lot of really good options, and it was cool, like most of those of the the top five mascots that we had, they were like somebody like a fan had either wrote it on a card, or they texted us personally or said it on social media. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, things like that I think I think it's important to just to keep people involved. I think that's one of the biggest ways to make this thing really succeed. And I think you take it one step at a time. There's so many opportunities, um, you know, going forward in the future to really make this thing bigger than what it is now. I just think you have to take it one step at a time. You don't want to be so quick to jump into anything. You want to make sure if you're doing something, you do it the right way.
yeah, that's fair. Because like I know I'm working during the games, like I'm taking photos and video, so I'm busy. But I even heard like fans come up to you and say, "Oh, I appreciate this," and give positive feedback. I'm
Yeah.
wondering, do more fans do that? Do a lot of fans do that to you sometimes?
I have I've had a couple people kind of like come up to me, shake my hand, you know, say like how did you do this, or like, you guys are doing a really good job. This could be something big. Um, and I've had like several people tell me like they've heard really good things. So yeah, it is good to hear that, and it's kind of just a motivation for me to like keep going. Like there are people that are backing us, keep going, keep going. 'Cause this really could be something big, you know. I mean, you're looking at one of the biggest things around here is youth soccer. Um, there's a lot of kids around here that love to play, man. And there's opportunities in that realm. There's also opportunities for uh, a lower level, a secondary men's team. There's also UPSL women's. So there's a lot of opportunities going forward. Um, it's just, you just gotta kind of keep that motivation and keep pushing, and hopefully we'll keep growing. So yeah.
Well, I was wondering, what's like your biggest goal for next year after you started the team and this is your first year? It's been overall successful. What
Yeah.
do you think your overall goal is for next year? Like to build upon everything, or is there like a specific thing that you want out of next season
uh
besides like the championship?
Well, yeah, obviously, the ultimate goal on the player side of thing, or the playing side of thing, is to win that national championship. That'll always be the goal.
Of course.
But I guess I don't know if I have anything specific. I think the biggest thing is really just just the growth of it. Obviously, like we have our numbers of attendees at our games this season. You know, I always kind of set a goal of like whatever it is this season, I want to double it next season. And I want to have, you know, I guess more things, more opportunities for people to come to the games and like enjoy. And that could be more food variety, more, I guess, you know, things during halftime. We've done a couple mini things here and there. But just things like that, I guess. And
Well, I was gonna say, it looks like the local Northside soccer team loves to participate in the halftime shows, and
yeah,
they
yeah.
get down for like the crossbar challenge
Oh yeah.
or the penalty kick thing. They seem to really enjoy it and want to
Ye-
keep
Oh
at
yeah.
it.
I think the kids, a lot of the youth kids, they love to do that. I mean, it's something fun for them to do. And actually, like our last home game, we had couple kids, they lined up with the players and did the walkout with them during the national anthem and all that. And I think they really love that. I think that was something really cool for them.
Yeah, I think for them it's like emulating like I don't know like Premier League or something. They're walking out like
Yeah,
the
no,
professional player
exactly.
going out like that.
Yeah, no, it's
Crazy
cool.
to them like they can do that here now.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is we're trying to do things like that where like you see them on TV, but like you would never think like something like that would happen around here. But like we're trying to make things like that happen. So yeah, I'm excited for we're gonna try and do well, we are gonna do a fall season. Um, you know, and it'll be a little bit different dynamic just in terms of like who we have playing, and it's the fall, so it's different, and I know the UPSL, it changes from spring to fall. Like a lot of teams kind of drop, and then so you'll have some new teams come in, so it'll be a lot of changes and a lot of adversity, but it's like not really anything that I guess that I'm not used to, or that we're not used to. We've had to go through a lot of adversity this season already, so we're learning as we go, and yeah.
I was gonna ask, did you and Kyle Hoops talk about making that transition to the season? Because I know originally you talked about the possibility of maybe not doing it or maybe doing it. You were like juggling between the
Yeah.
options.
Yeah, one of the biggest things was, in the fall you lose all your college guys because they're all committed to college, obviously. So we talked about it a little bit. The biggest thing was like obviously like I guess personally, I want it to happen. I want to be able to play year round. I think it's, I just I love watching the guys play. I mean, it's a lot of fun for me. It's something I'm passionate about. So I definitely personally want the fall season to go through. There was a little bit of back and forth, just like if we're gonna have enough quality players, with the college guys leaving. But looking at it, there's a lot of guys on our team that aren't in college. And there's even like some up and coming high school kids that are they have club in the fall, but some of them are kind of committing more to like playing with us. So I mean, if the numbers are right, there's no reason why we don't go ahead and just and go through with it.
And
So.
would that mean you would bring up your training squad guys, some of your training squad guys that didn't make the first team at the end of the day too?
It's a possibility for sure. I mean, we'll host another tryout and it'll be anybody's game, I've always been big on, I don't think like one person should get favored over another person, because they were on the team before. Like if there's somebody that comes in and out of nowhere and they're a better player, they're gonna make the squad, regardless of, I mean, even if it was somebody that was cut in the spring, if they came back and, they were good enough or they've grown and they've gotten better and they're a better player, then it'll be the however many we take, it'll be the best guys that came and tried out. So yeah, there's definitely opportunities for anybody really.
Yeah, because I was thinking like how, and I know it's semi-professional sports, but you still got treated like a business where
Yeah,
success equals more money later on too. At the
yeah,
same
yeah.
time, on top of just not the community generated stuff and the businesses that help out too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean that's always going to be the business side of things is how can you make more money. But I mean, I think again, I think if you take things slow, it might be a risk, but if you do it, I think if you do it the right way, like all that everything else will fall into place. And again, like the most important thing is you know the community and providing a pathway for players to that are growing up around here that maybe don't get the they don't get seen as well as somewhere else, a bigger city, you know giving them that opportunity to play nationally, and then obviously like going out being a competitive team and winning games. So yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I got my thumb stuck in the mic. That's
Is
fine.
that
I was,
working out for you? Is your
Yeah,
hand?
yeah.
Hopefully your hand's not getting like tired over
Yeah,
there.
I got stuck, so I was like,
yeah,
hopefully no one will succeed.
the setup is what we can make out of it. We just have to make something work. But
Yeah.
I guess overall, I personally think this season's a success. I'm looking forward to everything that's gonna happen later on, and when
Yeah,
I
I really
might,
want to go to a game.
Yeah, we get Kyle out for our next home game.
yeah,
Never told
he
me.
can come to the game here.
I can't video though. I'll enjoy as a
Just
spectator.
there we go. That's
Yeah,
fine. Hey, that's
yeah.
perfectly fine with me,
I'll
man.
take some friends with me as well.
There you go.
I think it'll be lots of fun because it's a big community aspect, like food trucks, ice cream or whatever ice
Oh
creams
yeah.
See,
there.
that's what
That's always
gets
fun.
people to come back is like even if they're not into soccer, they may enjoy like the halftime show. And then next time they'll bring a friend,
Yep.
and just how it grows from there.
Yeah, that's kind of how we're looking at it as well. And again, like I mean, can't get wrong with
Like even for myself, like I peek at the stands, I see some of the same faces at regular places. They're like,
yeah.
wow, these people really enjoy it. They're coming out to see somebody perform and someone
Especially
better.
since you guys have been competitive with it and everything.
Yeah, we've I mean, other than our last home game, our previous home games, I mean, they were pretty
I
entertaining,
was gonna say there's some big shocks. Like we could like when we look at it, like most of these guys on this team are like college players that
Oh
want to
yeah.
pursue other goals and dreams later on, or washed up players. I'm not gonna say washed up really, but like players that like pretty much went from the college level to like adulthood and haven't played
Yeah.
much else, competing against these academy teams where these kids are like scouted daily. Parents
Oh
put
yeah.
thousands of dollars into them to board on to like top tier teams and trained by the top coaches at the youth age of like 18. Like,
Oh
and
yeah.
we played like specifically North Carolina FC
Mhm.
Academy. I
Yeah.
looked at their team like they have some guys that are like smaller than me, and I'm a small dude. Myself, 5'5". Like those guys were competing hard, like
Oh
strong
yeah.
looking. The keeper was like 6'3" or something. I asked him his
Oh
age.
yeah.
He's like, I'm 18. I was like, whoa, like this
Yeah,
dude got
is
size, and he looked like a professional player already.
yeah, oh yeah, it was all USL Academy kids. So like I mean they were all legitimate, like definitely like they're probably like 18, 20, like Division One. I mean they're all really good players.
Like,
And I think that says a lot about our team though, Even we have a lot of older guys that aren't in college anymore, but we got some ballers, man. We got guys who played Division One. We had a guy that came from Honduras that is an ex-pro player in Honduras. Like we got some ballers,
yeah,
man.
it's like I was gonna say, you guys competed with those big teams. Some of them, like, and you competed with the academy team. Like you tied with them. You had some like kickbacks where like you lost some games, but then you also beat teams like 3-0 too. Like I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
like those teams and your success come around too.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think it shows that like, we have a squad that can compete in this league. Like, I mean, we have beaten teams, fairly well. We've had some, really close games and we've also, went through some adversity. So, it's good. I mean, again, for this being our first season, I think most people would look at it as pretty successful, just considering that just all these kind of things that we're learning from a coach's perspective, from a business perspective, from a player's perspective. Most of us have never competed in the UPSL before, so it's a lot of new things. Um,
Yeah, like I
Like
and
trial by fire.
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So, and we've taken it with a grain of salt and little by little. Season's not over yet. I think I think by the end it'll definitely be labeled as a successful season considering like what we've been able to do so far, and I think it's given us a lot of confidence that this is something that can be really sustainable, and it's something that people like the players around here they love it. Like they love showing up to practice and competing in these games. They love the team. The energy is so good. Like even we had practice, our last practice on Monday, and they're practicing right now actually. Even though we just came from a tough loss, like the energy is still so good. Like the guys really love being there and being involved.
Yeah, like when I go take locker room photos, I see them bumping music. They
Yeah,
they dap each other up.
yeah, it's good,
They have
man.
a high energy. Coach coach is positive.
Oh yeah.
I think you guys picked a great coaching staff and everything too.
Oh yeah, for
But,
sure. And that's the thing I love about like sports and like, you know, I'm so blessed to like just like to have the love that I and passion that I have for athletics because it just brings people together. You know what I mean?
like,
Like it's so cool to see that like a group of people that, you know, don't know each other,
yeah,
they come together and they start competing and all of a sudden you create a brotherhood, and it's a good bond,
yeah.
man.
Like I'll say this to you, Kyle, specifically because you didn't grow up playing soccer or seeing the community yet. Where I'm seeing it from difference from other sports is that soccer has the most diverse background of
Oh yeah.
participants. Like I've never seen so many Haitians in one area or Hispanics group up together. Haitians and Hispanics different, and then maybe like an Asian person come in, and then some
Yep.
Americans come in playing together. Like versus like football, basketball, you're seeing like typically like one race or another
Yeah.
competing more often.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Diversity is always, it's always cool to see that. So, yeah.
Okay, I would kind of compare it to like I think baseball would be the other.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, there's a lot of diversity in baseball as well. I don't see a lot of baseball around here either. Maybe I'm just not.
just the Salem Red Sox.
Yeah, the Salem Red Sox
Same
is.
Red Sox, but I think the difference with how you run it versus them is because they're pretty much supported by the Boston Red Sox. That
Yeah,
it's
they're
sort of
like
like
it's like a
single
what?
A
Hmm.
Yeah,
affiliated team that is like the guys move up. Like previous year, like I actually shot a photo of I don't know how to say his name, some Ecuadorian dude I think,
yeah.
and he actually moved it up to Boston Red Sox as a
Oh,
rookie this
that's
year.
cool.
And last year he was this dude that was slinging home runs at Salem Red Sox, and I was like, this guy's good. And then next home game I went to, he was never there again. He got moved up so fast, like just like
Dang.
that.
It's very quick there.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
that's cool, man. Yeah. And it's cool to see like, something like that. Like obviously like there's opportunity for success around here. You just got to kind of again, you just got to kind of do it the right way. So yeah, it'd be cool in the future to build a whole stadium and
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I would love bring me back whenever if I'm
Oh yeah,
around.
absolutely, man. Well,
Have any specific spots in Roanoke where you
I
would go?
mean, well, they used to have the varsity stadium over where like the River's Edge complex is, and that'd always be a sweet spot.
Yeah,
But there's a lot that would have to go into that. Otherwise, yeah, there's not a lot of you know, like full size, like nice fields, soccer fields in Roanoke. So, I think in the future, it'd be nice to build some.
we can dream and manifest it, and then one day it will become a fruition, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
man. That's the goal.
yeah,
So make it as big as the Salem Red Sox or the Royal Dogs.
Make it bigger.
Make
bigger,
it
yeah,
bigger.
bigger.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
dream
never know.
big, dream big. Never know what could happen
Yeah.
sometimes.
So that's the thing, man, is always just striving for that greatness. So
Yeah,
yeah, we'll keep pushing and again take it step by step and
yeah.
you never know. We'll see what
Well,
happens.
I think this is a good point to just say it was a pleasure having you on the our first guest ever,
It's
the first
awesome,
guest
man.
ever.
I'm glad I could be
Yeah,
here and talk with
yeah,
you guys. It was cool. I had a lot of fun.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah. Appreciate it.
Sweet.